Alright, so if you watch my videos from time to time, you know that I will tell personal story and try to give everybody a little bit of perspective on lessons that I've learned. Now, one of the things I'm going to start doing is getting a little bit more into current events. I have the Facebook group Lightwork for Lightworkers. I don't want to talk about politics over there, so I haven't really, engaged a lot with what's going on in the world. But here's what I'm going to have to do. I can't just ignore everything anymore. And I think that people are looking for genuinely ways to get through things, wanting to know what to get ready for. And so what I'm going to do is I'm going to start making some videos based upon the events of the day. It may not be every single day, but current events. And I'm going to post it to the group. I'm going to post it to my personal page. Now, the group rules are still the same. I do not want to have political talk, fighting back and forth and everything on that group. I know it's a tough line to roll with there, but I'm going to trust everybody in the group to not turn it into a mess. If you want to go and have a political discussion based on something I've said in the video, my personal page, just friend me. If you're not already friends with me, go to the personal page and we can go at it from there. You can direct message me, or you can go over to Patreon as well, and we can have comments in the comment section. So I want to be able to cover these topics without worrying about it blowing up the group. So I'm going to trust you guys. So here's what I want to talk about today. And this involves there's something sneaking in the back door. All right. So the story is that this time last year, basically, when we just started to hear, if you were really paying close attention, you kind of knew about this weird virus that was over in China. You really didn't hear too much more. The way my mind works and the way, the things that I've been getting visions of since I was 6 years old, I went outside, I channeled, I tapped in, I got multiple confirmations. And long story short, and I definitely got a clear and concise message from Spirit that virus, COVID, was going to be a big deal during the year and to prepare because this was going to be the thing, so to speak. And so long story short is I listened to my gut on that. I listened to Spirit. I did everything they told me to do. We prepared, and by the time the lockdowns and everything came, obviously we were affected, but we had all our supplies. We were completely ready. If they had shut us down for a year, we would have been good to go in terms of having things. So, the reason why I tell that story is because everybody right now is being distracted by so many different things. You've got all this election chaos, okay? You've got, the vaccine coming out, all right? So, you have all these things happening. And, the media pretty much drives the conversation. And we've been hearing whispers about, restrictions and everything like that. But here's the thing that I've got to, in the last couple of days, I confirmed it the same way that I did last year. So I just want to give everybody a heads up. Last year, when China first started having the virus, they showed us what they were going to do. They showed us how they were going to handle it, and they started doing the lockdowns. Okay? And then what happened? The lockdowns spread, and you know the rest of the story. Now, there is this new strain that they have found over in the UK. Okay? It pretty much has the same death rate, but it's a lot easier to catch it. So, what are they doing? Transportation. They've closed the Eurotunnel. Everybody over there is closing their borders. And it's kind of off of everybody's radar here because everybody is involved in, whatever the hell is going on in the election that day. So, all right. When that strain gets here, and it's going to get here, they've already found it in a couple of other places. When that strain gets here, if you think people panicked before, it's going to be significantly worse this time. Okay? And the thing with travel is look, I'm not, this is just what I'm getting, okay? I don't have websites to send you to and articles to link to. But based on what they did last time and based on what I'm getting now, I think there's more to be concerned about than just, can I travel on an airplane? I think what will start to happen is what's going on over there is that they found it in the UK and they're closing off each individual, a lot of the European Union's states countries are closing off their borders. So I think there's a possibility that what might happen is, let's say for instance, somebody shows up in New York and they've got that new strain. I think, Karen says I shouldn't say I think. She says I should say I feel. So I'm going to do that right now. I feel like what will happen at that point is New York will just say, that's it, we're closing our borders, nobody in, nobody out. I do believe that travel is going to become extremely difficult. Okay? Now, some of this obviously goes along with what I got in my 2021 yearly. But what I'm trying to get to here is that, look, please, please, please get prepared. Mentally, emotionally, spiritually, and physically. Okay? Get prepared. Because if these things happen, when that strain comes here, and it will, people are going to see, before they reacted from this place of fear of we don't know what's going to happen. But now they actually have an idea of what's going to happen. So now they're not only going to react to the new virus, to the new strain, but there's going to be two different sets. You're going to have people that are going to become extremely fearful of what this new strain means. And then you're going to have other people that are going to just be adamantly against any more restrictions, lockdowns, etc. And what that's going to do is that's going to further the divide, which is what I said in the 2021. That's what I got for January, is that the divide was going to be furthered and that there's going to be infighting within each camp. So, the weekly message I got, weekly channeled message, the reading I did today was basically saying, if you think that you are ready and you have done the work spiritually for what's coming, to think again. And that's what I'm asking you to do now. If you think that you're prepared because you've got some supplies left over from the first run, I don't want to come on and just be all doom and gloom. Okay? But if we actually do get $600 from that stimulus check, which that's another subject, spend it on things you need. Spend it on things that you are going to need if and when, in the likely event that one way or another here in the next month, we get locked back down. Okay? Now, that doesn't mean go buy all the toilet paper. But I can't stress this enough, because I used the same exact method that I used for the original virus. This time when as soon as I saw that new strain, the bells, the same voices started going off. And I realized that, we're being distracted with all these other things, and then before we know it, there's going to be this new strain that's here, and you're going to have many people that are going to be completely okay with the government's overreaction. And you're going to have a lot of people fighting against that. And I'll be honest, I'll be straight, I'm going to be one of those people fighting against the further restrictions, okay? The science is pretty damn clear. The more restrictions, the more that you lock down, the more everybody stays home and stays safe, the more likely it is that the virus is going to mutate. Now, the hope is that eventually it mutates and becomes less deadly. From what I've read, this strain still has the same death rate, but is way easier to catch it. So, when this all happened last year, I know some people will say it's insensitive, but when we're born, we're dying. Okay, everybody dies, and I thought it then. My POV has not changed. Let it burn itself out. Let it do what it's going to do and burn itself out. Because what we've done now is we have just made it. We've made it so that we're probably going to be living with this thing for another 2 or 3 years at least. Because that's the other thing with this vaccine. You know, it's COVID is it's like the flu. It's like a cold. It's going to mutate every year. This is not a surprise to anybody. Okay, it's coronavirus 19. Okay, because there were 18 that they had known about before. So, or at least that's what I read somewhere. Don't quote me on that. If I'm wrong, you can slap me upside the head. But the point about it is that coronavirus has been around, okay? If you remember, when this all first started going down, and people were getting out their spray bottles of disinfectant, and they're going, look, it already says it's going to cure coronavirus. How did they know? Well, it's because, coronavirus has been around. This is just a different version of it that we haven't had. And that's what it's going to do. It's going to mutate every year. It'll be like the flu where you have to go get another shot and another shot and another shot. And the problem with that is that I think there's a big portion of the segment, of the population that doesn't realize that. They think this is just some brand new thing. And, the truth of it is that we've been living with these types of viruses forever. And look, nature is going to take its course. And the more that we lock down, the more that we stay home, stay safe, okay, the longer it's going to take to get rid of this thing. So I just want everybody to please get prepared. Because this time the go-around is going to be significantly worse. And you already have all this possible election chaos going on. Who knows what's going to happen on the 6th? I know that's of great interest to me because I'm just across the bay from D.C. And who knows what's going to happen? When they vote, who knows what's going to happen? There's going to be one segment of the population, like I've been saying, that's going to be awfully pissed off. So, what can you do? Because there's only so much that we can control, right? Well, obviously, make sure you have your supplies on hand. You've learned now, okay? You've had a year of this crap, basically. So you know the things that you're going to need, the things that you kind of do without, all right? Especially medications. That was one thing that we definitely stocked up on was, we both take a couple of medications. There's both, and libations are medications, okay? Stock up, I'm just saying. So you want to make sure that you have things that, you really can't, you're not going to want to be without for a long period of time. Because based on what I got in that reading and based on what I'm seeing already starting to happen, there's going to be a significant amount of disruption to our day-to-day lives. Now, they may not happen immediately, but they're piecing it together. Okay? Like I said, we've totally been played to end up fighting against each other. So you're going to have, I'll say it again, I said this in the yearly and I'll say it again, you're going to end up with 4 camps, not 2. Okay? You're going to have the political left and the political right. And within that, you're going to have people on the left that believe every single thing about the virus and ride in their car with the mask on. And then you're going to have people on the left that really aren't so sure about the virus and really would just think that maybe we should just be doing normal life. And then you're going to have the people on the complete political right, and they believe nothing about the virus and would never get a vaccine, etc. And you're going to have people on the right that believe, politically they're on the right, but then as far as the virus is concerned, they're like, well, we need to be safe, it's a real thing, etc. So it's not just these two sides, okay? And furthermore, it's not just the United States. The virus is worldwide. There's many places already as well having political struggles. Okay, I mean, which is the whole thing with Brexit. All right. So while that version of it I'm giving is in the United States, you could pretty much extrapolate that out to most locations, at least most locations that have freedom. Okay, you're not going to find that in China, because in China, if you speak out, you end up, you know, in the back of a bus somewhere. So, all right. The main thing here is being physically ready with your supplies. The second part to that is getting spiritually ready. And that's probably going to be the most difficult part. And the reason why I say that is fatigue, right? Is there anybody that is watching this video that is not sick of this shit already? Okay? Even if you're full on believing that, you know, not just that the virus is real, but that we should all be staying home and everything like that, even if that's what you believe, we're sick of it. And we're sick of the fighting, we're sick of being back and forth, we're sick of being online and seeing every damn conversation end up in fighting between somebody who believes one thing and somebody that believes another. And now, like I said, there's going to be splits. So it's not just going to be two sides, it's going to be four sides. There's their internal fighting within each group. And everybody's just sick of it. Okay? And we've all struggled. Not everybody has struggled financially, but a lot of us have. And it's become just basically damn near impossible to make plans. I mean, hockey season is supposed to come back, and I have people asking me if I'm going to do hockey videos this year. And there's this part of me who wants to go, yeah, sure. And then there's this other part of me that says, I don't even know if we're going to have a start to this season, because who knows, you know, what's going to be happening after January 6th. So for those of us who are light workers, especially if you channel, okay, psychic, medium, astrology, human design, if you're somebody who has a good sense of what is getting ready to happen, every single one of us is like holding our breath right now. We're like, we could feel it, we could feel it, we could feel it. We know something is coming. But we are going to have to keep our shit together. We are going to have to keep our shit together, because, yeah, they're asking me if I'm going to do hockey videos, but that is, you know, just for me personally, 500-600 people that I know that they just want normal life to come back. They're just full on expecting that it's just going to go off without a hitch, and hockey's back and we're good and the vaccine is here and everything is looking good. It's looking good. Those people are going to desperately need our help. So as much as it's, and I do it myself, as much as we can sit here and talk about how the energy is kicking our ass, because I tell you what, this conjunction today with the placements that are in my chart, I got an ass kicking, okay? There's not one thing right now that I can point to that is working out the way I thought it would. There's some things working out. Nothing really overtly bad has happened. It's just nothing is going the way I thought it would go, and not much of it is going the way I would have wanted it to go. But when that happens to us as light workers, we can't lose our shit. We are going to have to hold it together. And that's actually a good plug for the Lightwork group. It's Lightwork for Light Workers. It's a Facebook group. It's a support group for light workers. So, and it's private. So we can go there and lose our shit in private and then go help everybody else to not lose theirs. So, getting spiritually ready for this is if, and I'll end with this, because this has been coming at me all week. And I said it in the weekly reading, but to be honest, it's got 5 views and 3 of those are Karen and I, so I don't know who else heard it. But the message is, if you think that you've done the work to get ready, you have not. You have not. And that's something that you're going to have to ask yourself deep down. and be willing to admit to yourself where you haven't really done it. And you may have done it spiritually. Maybe you're not physically ready. Maybe you're physically and spiritually ready, but your money situation isn't where it needs to be. And if you're certain that you've got it all done and you're completely ready, take a nap. Because if you're completely 100% ready for what's coming, you are going to be one of the first people that has a line backed out the door, because people are going to need your help. So, I'm not telling anybody that they haven't done the work. Okay? I'll use myself as an example. At the start of this year, before, actually it was October, November of last year, long story short, the start of this year we had an office that we were going to do readings out of, and COVID came, we had to close the office, and we committed to doing everything online. We did the website, we did 2 or 3 websites. I've been pumping out videos, trying to build that. We've done the work. We have done the work. But it hasn't worked out the way we wanted it to. So there's clearly things that we're not doing, which is fine. We'll figure that part out. I'm not complaining about that. But the point I'm making is that on the surface, to anyone else who would be viewing it, like, dude, you've got a Facebook group, you've been doing videos every day, you're doing it, you're doing the work. But we're not doing enough. There's absolutely more that we could be doing. But, excuses and reasons get in the way. I get frustrated easily when the videos don't do that well. I get frustrated easily when we don't get readings, because I love to do the readings. I want to help people. So the point to it is that if something's not working out for you in your life, that's a good place to look to see, okay, I think I've done the work, I feel like I've done the work, but what have I not done? What if you check in deep down inside, what have you not done? Then, once you've admitted to yourself in that situation what you haven't done, take a look around the rest of your life, and apply that depth and that willingness to admit that you haven't done all that you could, and apply it to the rest of your life. Because the worst thing I think you could do right now is to sit and think that you are ready for what's coming. Make sure that you have room in your head, your heart, and your soul for things to come that I wasn't expecting that. I wasn't ready for it. It's like the roller coaster, okay? You're going up, you got to prepare for that drop. Don't put yourself in a situation where you think you're just going up and there's going to be no drop, because when you hit that drop, you are going to be shocked. And that's where it gets tough to hold it all together. And as light workers, since our job is going to be to hold the space for everyone else, we have to make sure we're not putting ourselves into a negative situation. So, double, triple, quadruple check all your processes. Pull out your toolbox, physically and spiritually. Pull it out, check it all, dust it off, check for any lost tools. Try to remember if there's any tools that you've used in the past that could come in handy. Because unless I'm wrong, David Palmer's wrong, and many other people who channel and do astrology and do readings, unless we're just basically all wrong, we're headed for a hell of a ride. So none of us, I don't believe any of us are 100% sitting here ready. Everybody's got something that they could shore up. And this strain, this new strain that's coming, it's just going to give, it's going to give governments a reason to freak out. At least in the public eye. Make sure you're ready. Don't overlook this one. All right. Thank you all for watching. I appreciate everybody who watches. I'm going to be putting out more videos like this. I don't know how long YouTube's going to let me make them, but I'm going to try. But $3 a month over on Patreon. About 40 videos a month with the dailies and everything. That's where I'm going to end up if YouTube takes me down. There, Rumble, Subscribestar. I'll have to make changes as we go. We'll see what happens, but I can't just shut up anymore. So if you enjoy the videos and enjoy the work that I do and would really like to see it genuinely continue, it's a pretty good value. So thank you all for watching, and I will see you again tomorrow in the next video.